A lawyer, working for a firm advising on a massive corporate takeover, wasn't on the deal team. Yet he secretly bought millions of dollars in stock options of the target company. When the deal went public, he made over $4.3 million in profit. Was that insider trading? For years, courts were split. But James O'Hagan's actions didn't just get him indicted. They forced the Supreme Court to fundamentally redefine what insider trading even meant. In 2026, the precedents set by United States v. Ohagan continue to shape market integrity. This case wasn't just about one lawyer's alleged misconduct. It was about closing a gaping loophole in securities law. In June of 1997, a Supreme Court decision fundamentally reshaped how the United States approaches insider trading. Before this ruling, a specific type of market manipulation, often called misappropriation theory, floated in a murky legal gray area, leaving significant loopholes. In this particular case, a partner at a prominent law firm, James Herman Ohagan, used confidential information about an impending tender offer to reap over $4 million in illicit profits. The resulting legal battle didn't just target one individual. It became a crucial battleground for the very definition of what constitutes illegal insider trading. This case, United States v. Ohagan, solidified the power of the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, and expanded the reach of federal securities law. Today, this precedent is why the everyday actions of corporate insiders are scrutinized, and it remains a cornerstone in the ongoing fight for fair and transparent markets. So, how did one lawyer's alleged actions lead to such a significant legal redefinition? Let's delve into the facts of what unfolded. James Herman Ohagan was a distinguished partner specializing in corporate law at Dorsey & Whitney, a highly reputable law firm with a prominent presence in Minneapolis. In the spring of 1988, his firm secured a significant mandate from Grand Metropolitan plc, or Grand Met, a colossal London-based conglomerate with diverse holdings, including Burger King and Smirnoff. Grand Met had retained Dorsey & Whitney for a profoundly confidential corporate action. A potential hostile tender offer for the Pillsbury Company, the iconic Minneapolis-based food giant famous for its Doughboy mascot and products like Green Giant and Hedge & Daz. This strategic maneuver made all information related to the prospective $5.75 billion deal exceptionally sensitive, and most critically, non-public. It is crucial to note that Ohagan himself was not a member of the specific legal team assigned to the Grand Met Pillsbury case. His indirect access to this highly privileged information stemmed from his senior position within the firm, a firm that bore a stringent duty of confidentiality and loyalty to its client, Grand Met. Despite not being on the core deal team, Ohagan became acutely aware of Grand Met's impending plans. What he chose to do next with this insider knowledge would precipitate a landmark legal battle that ultimately reached the United States Supreme Court. Whitney, in Minneapolis, where Grand Metropolitan plc was seeking specialized legal counsel for a potential tender offer for the Pillsbury Company stock. Despite not being directly assigned to this highly significant, multi-billion-dollar mandate, James Ohagan exploited the confidential, non-public information gleaned from his firm's representation of Grand Met. In August 1988, Ohagan strategically began purchasing Pillsbury call options and common stock, well before any public announcement of the impending tender offer. His actions, documented in detailed court records, were made with the clear expectation that Pillsbury stock would skyrocket once Grand Met's intentions became public, reflecting the typical market reaction to such acquisitions. For instance, he purchased 2,500 Pillsbury call options, each giving him the right to buy 100 shares at a predetermined strike price, along with 50,000 shares of common stock. After Grand Met publicly announced its $60 per share tender offer for Pillsbury on October 4, 1988, Ohagan quickly sold his acquired Pillsbury securities. This rapid divestment realized him a substantial, illicit profit exceeding $4.3 million. This significant financial gain did not go unnoticed, and soon, a thorough Securities and Exchange Commission investigation began, leading to a protracted legal showdown. Cawley purchased 2,500 Pillsbury call options and 5,000 shares of Pillsbury common stock. When Grand Met's tender offer for Pillsbury became public, the stock price predictably skyrocketed, and Ohagan sold his holdings, realizing a profit exceeding $4.3 million. This highly unusual trading activity quickly drew the attention of the Securities and Exchange Commission, which promptly launched an investigation into Ohagan's actions. The SEC subsequently charged Ohagan with securities fraud, specifically alleging insider trading by misappropriating confidential information. The prosecution, led by attorneys such as Mark M. Gowan, argued that Ohagan had violated his fiduciary duty not only to his law firm, but critically, to his firm's client, Grand Met. They posited that by using Grand Met's non-public information for personal gain, Ohagan had engaged in deception, thereby fulfilling the requirements of securities fraud. This case, documented as United States v. Ohagan, number 96842, escalated through the federal court system, ultimately reaching the highest court in the land for argument on April 16, 1997. It was here that a pivotal Supreme Court ruling would redefine the landscape of insider trading. This intricate case eventually reached the U.S. Supreme Court, marking a critical moment for insider trading law. On April 16, 1997, arguments were heard, culminating in the court's landmark opinion delivered on June 25, 1997, in United States v. Ohagan, 521 U.S. 642, 1997. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg authored the majority opinion, which proved to be a significant expansion of insider trading prohibitions. The court definitively upheld the misappropriation theory of insider trading. This theory posits that a person commits fraud in connection with a securities transaction and thereby violates Section 10(b) of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 and SEC Rule 10b-5, when he misappropriates confidential information for securities trading purposes, in breach of a duty owed to the source of the information. For example, Ohagan had a fiduciary duty to his law firm and its client Grand Met not to use their confidential information for personal gain. His actions, according to the court, constituted a deceptive act because he feigned fidelity to his firm while secretly converting the information for his own benefit. This ruling drastically reshaped the understanding of who could be held liable for insider trading. Ohagan's legacy, reshaping the rules. This intricate case eventually reached the U.S. Supreme Court, marking a critical moment for insider trading law. On April 16, 1997, arguments were heard, culminating in the court's landmark opinion delivered on June 25, 1997, in United States v. Ohagan, 521 U.S. 642, 1997. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg authored the majority opinion, which proved to be a significant expansion of insider trading protections. The Ohagan decision fundamentally reshaped the landscape of insider trading law, moving beyond the traditional, classical theory, which primarily focused on corporate insiders like officers or directors. This ruling established that insider trading could also apply to outsiders who misappropriate confidential information. Crucially, it closed a significant loophole, preventing individuals like Ohagan, who had no direct fiduciary duty to Pillsbury, the company whose stock was traded, from escaping liability. Justice Ginsburg's opinion solidified the misappropriation theory, ensuring that anyone who breaches a duty of loyalty and confidentiality to the source of non-public information, and then uses that information for personal gain through securities trading, can be prosecuted. This legal precedent has since enabled the SEC to pursue cases against a broader range of individuals, significantly strengthening enforcement capabilities against illicit trading activities. This video presents publicly documented information. It is for educational purposes, not legal advice. Justice Ginsburg's majority opinion in United States v. Ohagan fundamentally reshaped the legal landscape for insider trading, establishing the misappropriation theory as a valid basis for prosecution under Section 10(b) of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 and SEC Rule 10b-5. This ruling affirmed that an individual commits securities fraud when they misappropriate confidential information for trading purposes, breaching a duty owed to the source of that information, even if that source is not the company whose stock is being traded. This critical expansion closed a significant loophole, allowing the SEC to pursue individuals like Ohagan who betrayed a trust, strengthening market integrity and investor confidence, by ensuring that such acts of deceit could not circumvent federal securities laws. The precedent set in 1997 continues to influence insider trading enforcement to this day, providing a robust framework against those who exploit confidential information for personal gain. Considering the ethical duties inherent in professions that handle sensitive information, what are your thoughts on how firms should best safeguard against potential misappropriation? And have you seen any real-world examples of robust preventative measures? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're interested in understanding the nuances of how corporate law intersects with federal regulations, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more deep dives into landmark legal cases. If you found this breakdown insightful, I highly recommend watching my analysis of Dirks v. SEC next, which explores the intricacies of tipper-tippy liability. This video presents publicly documented information. It is for educational purposes, not legal advice.